pounds if we're using pounds. And the weight that they will be putting up overhead will be 325 pounds or 147.5 kilos. Just like you said, the weight keeps getting ramped up.
Now let's put this into perspective, because the over 40 masters with the likes of Zydrunas Savickas in there, Rauno Heinlers, pro strongmen are lifting the same weights as this under 105 class.
Yeah, and they are big and open division athletes.
This is
open weight category
yes, international open weight class weights we will see in this under 105 kilo class. Just shy of 150 kilos being pressed overhead.
Incredible. This is my body weight, a little bit heavier than my current body weight that they are pressing up for reps. And we're going to see some big stuff here. I have one of my athletes, John Parker, competing in this class of competitor. I'm really looking forward to see how he does. He was feeling very confident about the Viking press.
Yeah, I've got a few in this one as well, and it's an exciting class. Some fantastic athletes.
Do I see Andrew Clayton? He has competed in the Opens. He has competed at Giants Live, at a Giants Live qualifier. He unfortunately had a almost career-ending knee injury.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, that was in
the
Martinsville,
North
Indiana.
American Open.
Correct.
Very good overhead lifter.
Such a strong athlete, and it's really good to see him back here at this stage.
First of my athletes competing in this lineup is Mark Bischoff from Switzerland.
Oh, wow. Swiss athlete in lane 1, Andrew Clayton in lane 2, Yuri Ohonovsky in lane 3 from Ukraine, and
Matt
lane 4.
McKeegan, who is another of my athletes competing, and he's got a chance of challenging for this title.
Clayton is off.
Clayton, we know how good he is overhead. I believe he was going for a world record on the axle or an American record on the axle when he injured himself.
He was.
We know how strong he is overhead. Good to see him back.
This is a redemption of sorts. We've got 7 full-size barrels on top of this apparatus, and Clayton is already at 7.
That's going to be challenging for any of these athletes.
It is.
This is a heavy weight. And look at that. Excellent. Reminding everyone, 147.5 kilos, 325 pounds for reps.
Clayton gets 9 reps.
On 9 repetitions. Solid performance there by Andrew Clayton. And good to see him back competing.
It's always great to see that comeback, especially after such a traumatic injury. Inspiring all those of us who get confronted with the unfortunate or the misfortune of injury, knowing that it can be done. You can recover, you can get back to this, you can get back to the world's strongest if that's truly where your heart aims to be. So 9 reps from Andrew Clayton.
I have another athlete now coming up in Ollie Clark, young lad, only 21 years old.
Lars, how many athletes do you have here today?
9 in total competing.
Incredible.
I was supposed to have 10, but unfortunately one of my athletes couldn't get here due to passport issues.
Well, that's unfortunate. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure you are a proud coach here today watching all of your athletes operate.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, Marshall's in lane 1, Patrick Santiago in lane 2, Dan Hughes in lane 3, all 3 of USA, and Ollie Clark of England in lane number 4.
And he's looking solid there. 4 reps for Ollie so far.
And Hughes matches him with 4 reps.
Hughes.
Santiago gets 2 reps. But at 325 pounds, this weight very quickly catches up.
Oh, this is a huge weight. If anyone can get double figures, they are, without question, a truly powerful presser. 5, 5, 2, and 0, I think we're on. That's very well worked there for Hughes. Dug deep, gets a 6th rep. Ollie trying hard. Hughes under the weight again. He's working on. Look at the back bend. Look at the tricep strength. Oh,
I think he ascended a little too fast in that from coming out of that back bend, but someone who very clearly knows how to utilize that technique. Just
6 repetitions there.
When you're dealing with that fatigue threshold, it is it's very consequential, every minute detail, whether it goes up or stays down.
So remind me, how many reps did Andrew Clayton get?
He got 9 reps.
9 reps.
He is our current leader, and these athletes will be very hard-pressed to try to beat that.
Just trying to look through the list, thinking who can challenge that. It's going to be a tough target to beat.
Our next heat, number 3, number 1, representing Norway.
All right. Our third heat. Yngve Wihis of Norway in lane 1. Tristan Lee of USA in lane 2. Melvin Mwimba of Zambia in lane 3. And Sky Olsen of USA in lane number 4.
I've got to say, Melvin from Zambia looks like he can press, although he has extremely long arms. But he's thick in the chest and shoulder area.
Yeah, you can see the athletes with the wide, developed upper back, the big traps, the big deltoids, they are made for some big presses.
Let's see how these guys do.
325 pounds.
Digging deep.
Big dip, Melvin, big dip!
Sky Olsen, 4 reps.
We've seen 4 reps is solid so far.
Our Norwegian in lane number 1 has 1 rep on the board.
You guys in the middle with the longer levers, just struggling a little bit.
30 seconds remain.
And I really do feel these weights in this under 105 class are truly heavy.
Across
Probably
the board.
in terms of relation to body weight, I think this is the toughest class when you look at the weights they have to lift.
It is, but you know, this is Strongman, and this is the world's strongest
Oh, yeah.
for their categories. It's the same weight for all of them, and it is the same amount of discomfort and high gravity.
I
for them
just
all.
want people watching to understand these are world's strongest man weights.
Yep,
that we're
these
seeing.
are.
Some of the weights we have in the open class are heavier than we have at world's strongest man
Yeah, you're absolutely correct.
on certain events. It's understanding what level these guys are at. This is elite level, without question. For every single weight class, but you know, in terms of weight ratio,
Such a high caliber arena, and I mean, it makes for some really impressive feats of strength, and it brings out the best in all these athletes. But you know, there is no sugarcoating it here. This is tough, absolutely tough in every meaning of the word. We are on our 4th heat in our men under 105. Paul Mwanza of Zambia in lane 1, Nicholas Hine of USA in lane 2, Tim Bald of USA in lane 3, and James Brown of the UK in lane 4. Some final adjustments on Brown's apparatus. Thumbs up, we are ready to go. Oof, Brown slips.
Hine in lane number 2 is looking extremely explosive. Very, very quickly through 5 reps. Real nice technique. Good leg drive. Good use of the triceps to lock out. This is strong.
He has now matched Clayton with 9.
10 repetitions coming up.
Our new leader.
Takes a breather at 10. That was impressive.
30 seconds remain.
Halfway through the time cap, and he has already got double digits.
Mwanza is on 3 repetitions. Everyone else struggling to get a rep. But Hine on 10 repetitions, now number 11.
15 seconds left.
12. This is truly, truly world-class Viking press.
3, 2,
Our new leader, Nicholas Hine, 12 repetitions, inching out Andrew Clayton's 9 reps by 3, setting a new standard for the rest of our men's under 105 kilo class. Twelve reps at 325, Laz. That is a challenge.
I'm just kind of like blown away by how impressive that was. We've got a very, very solid athlete coming now in Justin Loy.
Justin Loy will be on lane 1, representing the USA. Lane number 2, Frank Provenzano of USA. Lane number 3, Jiri Chachlik of the Czech Republic. And in lane number 4, Michael DiPiero of USA.
Athletes take your positions.
Points on the board for all 4 athletes.
Yeah, we've got a solid heat here.
Justin Loy looking so snappy. Incredibly impressive being a tall athlete.
Yeah, I mean, look out for Justin on some of the events to come. Pressing is not necessarily his best event, but he does what he needs to do. He picks up points. He's getting reps in. Every rep now is more points. If he can get 5 or 6, then he'll be pleased.
20 seconds left.
Good rep there by Justin. What are we on to? 3 reps, 4 reps, and 3 reps, respectively, for our various different athletes.
3, 2, 1.
So Justin taking the win in this heat.
5 reps.
Good pressing, though, throughout that. Everyone scoring solid points.
Our 6th heat, Tyler Calabrese of USA in lane 1, Chris Harrison of England in lane 2, Sean Diver of Ireland in lane 3, and Corey Thomason in lane 4 from the USA.
Athletes take your positions.
Tyler needs to be careful in lane number 1. Look out for that double dip on the knees. Diver in lane number 3. Strong shoulders powering through that 3rd rep.
30 seconds remaining.
Calabrese working hard for this 4th rep. Heads through, gets the down signal. Diver also, it was 5th rep, I believe, or 4th.
15 seconds.
Counters keep changing.
Under 10.
Diver powering through that
worked
5th
hard for
rep.
that.
I love saying
I
that.
love how he stayed up on his tiptoes. He was just too scared to go down.
Did not want to
Kept
feel that
driving
downforce
hard
one bit.
with the triceps. Got the good rep in the end. 5 reps, solid performance.
Our 7th heat, Josh Harrelson of USA in lane 1, Thomas Owens of England in lane 2, Travis Hayes from China in lane 3, and Jake Hare of the USA in lane 4.
Hines, 12 reps is still the target, and it's an impressive target, that's for sure.
Making sure all the barrels are secure. We got 7 of them up there on the bar.
Whistle goes.
Hayes muscling through that lockout. Our first athlete to get a a rep. Harrelson trying his hardest.
If I was Hayes now, I'd just rest up, give myself 30 seconds, and then see if I can get one more.
60 seconds.
You know, this is where the athlete really has to be finally tuned in to knowing what they're capable of and not being or not allowing their mind to be clouded of the pressure being here.
You made a good point earlier in that Viking press equipment varies greatly. So some athletes will come in with an idea of what they think they're capable of, and suddenly they'll get under there and it could feel a lot heavier or lighter than they used to. And then you've got to be able to adapt on the spot and okay, you need to be realistic, because just trying for the sake of trying is just wasting energy. He's got one rep. I would have just thought, okay, I'm going to use 40 seconds to try and recover and then go for one more. There's no way he's going to get 5 or 6 reps. It's trying to be as strategic as possible and get the most out of your performance. And that's a skill as a strength athlete. It's not just about lifting big weights in the gym. It's about getting the best out of yourself under pressure in a competition.
In a lot of ways, these mental skills are very hard to acquire. You know, the one way to acquire them is through constant practice and repetition and time spent walking this path of the sport. But it is a very different scenario when you're here, especially as a new, fresh athlete, someone who hasn't been in the sport for so long. Regardless of what signs your body is giving you, if you are feeling the pressure of the crowd, of the other world's strongest athletes, of just being here in this company, it's all too easy to have a lapse in judgment sometimes and not buy that energy when you should.
Strange competition as well at OSG, because you have the likes of Zadrunas walking around, or you've got Martins walking around,
or you've got Big Laws talking on the microphone.
You've got us here, and some people just meeting their idols, if you like. It can be quite intimidating, and it's about blocking all that out, focusing on the job that you're here to do.
There's very real pressure. It is, and you got to have that mental resilience. But here we have it in lane number 4, Burley. Brandon Burley of the USA with 5 reps. In lane number 3, Michael O'Connor of the USA. In lane number 2, Ben Gutsky of the USA. And in lane number 1, Sami Kontkanen.
left.
15 seconds left on the clock. Burley wants one more rep.
Under 10.
And that fatigue is just a little too high.
3, 2, 1.
Heat number 9. Jonathan Parker in lane 1, representing the USA. Lane 2, Vitaly Mikhaev of the Ukraine. Lane number 3, Timothy Makowski of the USA. And lane number 4, Stephen Bradley. Proud coach moment here. John Parker in lane 1. One of my athletes.
How can we expect him do on this one?
Speaking to him, he is very confident about this event. He says as his prep went on, the Viking press has never felt so good. But as you and I have spoken about, every apparatus is different from training to coming here. The one advantage I will say that John has is he lives near Lynn Morehouse in North Carolina. And Lynn, the showrunner here, the mastermind behind this event, left his facility open to anyone who is willing to make the trip.
That was nice.
So John has gotten to train on this apparatus, I believe. But John is a very strong deadlifter, and all too often the strongest deadlifters tend to not be the best pressers. But John, 2 reps. Makowski, 2 reps as well.
Bradley's on 1.
John pushing his 4th rep up.
It's solid. If he can get to that 5 rep territory, we know that's good points.
30 seconds left.
A little too much time spent holding that apparatus in place. He needs to put it down and rest. And collect your energy, John. Makowski trying his best for his 3rd. Bradley has 1 in lane 4, and Mikhaev in lane 2. Still vying for that 1st rep if he can get it. And I think John is going to be stuck at 4.
It's just so energy zapping, this event. Once it's gone, it's gone.
Yeah, it is.
And with such a heavy weight, it requires so much force to get that 1 rep done. it just drains you extremely quickly. But 4 reps, very solid there.
Heat number 10. Garrett Payne in lane 1, Servando Marroquin in lane 2, Alex Sukup in lane 3, and Mike Kropacek in lane number 4. All USA representing athletes. Garrett Payne and Servando Marroquin are both Texas athletes. Garrett Payne is a well-seasoned athlete. He is a veteran athlete. He's competed at nationals, at the Arnold World Championships. Very strong powerhouse. I'm really looking forward to seeing him put on a clinic. Servando Marroquin is not one of my current athletes, but he is an athlete that used to train out of my gym when I was running it. He trained under my tutelage while I was coaching him for a while, but he has been coaching himself for at least 6 months now. He did very well at the OSG South Regionals in Houston, although he did suffer a hamstring injury there. I'm wondering how that has healed up, if it is going to play a role here. He did finish second at the Arnold Amateur World Championships this year, so definitely a capable athlete. But Alex Sukup there in lane number 3, another Texas athlete. Very strong. He's got strong legs under him. Curious to see how he fares under this
Powerful legs
325 pound.
Very beneficial on a Viking press.
They can.
And this is looking good by most of these guys managing a rep. I'm liking Payne's shorts in lane number 1.
Oh, Garrett always comes decked out in the best.
Macarin looking very solid there with 3 reps. Sukup hits 3 as well.
Now, Servando is biding his energy in between every single rep. He's not staying up for long. He's keeping his composure as best as he can, taking it 1 rep at a time. 4 reps for Sukup.
That's solid. And you can just see sometimes, like watching Payne there, every single rep he tries, it gets further and further away from the result he's after.
Yeah, you just got to hang up the towel at a certain point and realize that you have so many other events that you need to save yourself for.
So that concludes our under 105s, attempting 147.5 kilo Viking press. Nicholas Hine with 12 repetitions taking the win.
Incredible.
Ahead of Andrew Clayton. So good to see Andrew lifting so effectively, hitting 9 reps, which was a fantastic performance as well. But 12 for the win. Wow, that was truly an incredible feat of strength.
At 325 pounds, Laws, that's just amazing. That's amazing. This is, similar weights that we would find at Giants Live, at World's Strongest Man, and this is for the under 105 category. This is you have to earn every bit of the victory here today.
Yeah, Dan Hughes separating himself from the chasing pack there. That 6th repetition is big points for Dan. And then we have 5 athletes tied with 5 repetitions, all scoring good points. It's going to be an epic day for the under 105s.
It is. And
Now
that's such a highly competitive class of athlete too. They're walking that line in between, the heavyweights and in between the lightweights. They're right there in the middle to where you see an athlete who's just able to really pack on the most amount of muscle to their frame possible without getting too excessively heavy. And it's almost like a very predator type build to a lot of the well-conditioned ones out there.
Well, now we move on to the Masters class, and the Masters use the same weights as the under 105s, and we have the likes of Dimitar Savatinov.
It's so good to see Dimitar back.
And Dimitar is one hell of a presser. This guy, when it comes to overhead events,
he will press up people's squat max.
Yes. I mean, I don't know who's going to challenge Dimitar on an overhead event in any class.
We may very see our first place in
weights to look for in these shows are where 1/3 of the field will zero it or do fairly poorly, have a difficult time. Then another 1/3 of the field will do decent, have a good show, and then 1/3 of the field will make a joke of it. And that makes for a good show.
100%. That should be the spread there, and it makes for a good show, like you said, and it really tests the abilities of the athlete, gives it a level playing field, and doesn't sugarcoat the reality of what it's like to, well, at least for the men's open division, what it's going to be like to compete at Giants Live or prospectively World's Strongest Man down the route, and for the other weighted class athletes, to wear that title of world's strongest. You got to earn it. You absolutely have to earn it. And when you're the world's strongest, you can lift heavy things, and you can do it well. Ain't that right?
Absolutely.
World's strongest man.
And the thing is, for these guys, they have a huge field of athletes to go up against. These shows are so tough. I am grateful that my pro competitions don't have the amount of athletes that are here today. Because I've done it before. I've competed in nationals. Those are huge shows, and one little mistake can make a huge difference in points.
High stakes and high consequential. And
We have to be perfect for every event to win one of these shows with so many athletes.
our first heat of men's under 105. All three finish in good time.
That's
We
impressive.
had Mark Bischoff in lane 1 of Switzerland, and in lane 2, Marshall Zinn, USA. In lane 3, Tristan Lee, USA. Tristan.
That's 330 pounds that they all three of them made a joke out of.
Yeah, and Tristan moved very well, coming out ahead of that group of three right there. 330 pounds per hand in this farmer's walk. We're going to get a reset, ready for our second heat. Melvin Mwimba of Zambia will be in lane 1. Timbald, USA, lane 2. James Brown, UK, lane 3. And Corey Thomason, USA, lane number 4.
I talked to Melvin Mwimba of Zambia earlier. He's a really, just an awesome guy. Great spirit. And impressive. Again, impressive. These guys have figured out how to do this sport all on their own, essentially. No coaches, just self-taught. Kills it. Well done, Mwimba.
Great showing from Melvin.
Thomason, 21.03.
Brown gets so close to finishing the course, and I think he just did that for the sake of knowing.
Just showing himself that he could.
But that does make a bit of a challenge for our refs trying to get a measurement there. Corey Thomason, our leader, 21.03 seconds.
Some very strong starts from these gentlemen in the lower heats. This will be good for their to climb back up after missing those points on the Viking press.
I love seeing that high performance coming from someone in the early heats, that redemption of sorts.
It makes me feel good to see these guys pull it back together and still have a chance.
Me too. And, with the shoulder-powered events usually being the first, the reality is you're going to have guys out there that just are not the best pressers. And then you're going to have guys out there who are just phenomenal pressers.
And the thing is, with pressing, it takes if you don't have it, just the talent for it, it takes the longest to build. Because the shoulder joint is one of the most complex joints in the body. And there's a lot of stability aspects to it. And it takes a long time to build that muscle and stability and that strength in the shoulder more than any other muscle group.
Ben Gutsky, the USA, in lane number 4, is the first to finish in this heat, with Owens seemingly diving into the finish line, wondering if he gets the time. It looks like he got a thumbs up for getting that time with a dive, so that's good. Here we have Harrelson, Josh Harrelson, the USA, giving it his absolute all for distance here. 330 pounds per hand.
We're getting a lot of good a ratio of finishers. This is pretty impressive.
Very impressive to see with such a high weight.
It makes me curious if we're going to get some incredible times coming up.
I think we have a time for Ben Gutsky. Let me wait to see it on the screen before I announce it. Finished lightning fast there. He was there in lane number 4, a USA athlete. Ben Gutsky, 17.31 seconds, our new leader in the men's 105 kg class.
That is lightning fast, and that is not going to be easy to beat, but I guarantee it, there will be a couple guys that do.
Especially when we're seeing it this early in the roster. Heat number 4, Vitaly Mikhaev of Ukraine, lane 1. Mike Kropacek, USA, lane 2. Yngve Wehus, Norway, lane 3. Travis Hayes, China, lane 4.
Now, Travis Hayes, he's a friend of mine. Right after I won World's Strongest Man, he's the owner of a gym in China, and he and his crew flew me out to China to do videos with them to teach them how to do strongman. They had never done strongman really before, and now ever since I went out to China, Romark and I taught them how to do these events, how to prepare for them. They've taken it upon themselves to start taking it to get into these competitions and show us what China can accomplish as well.
That's amazing. And look at him out here representing and just
Absolutely.
showcasing all the knowledge he imparted on them. Look at Kropacek.
Absolutely proud.
Lane number 2.
Kropacek, good
Mike.
Good run.
Looking very strong on that run. He's happy with it. We still got time on the clock.
Come on, Travis Hayes, let's finish it. He's come a long way just in these few years.
Well, to be in the arena of the world's strongest man for the 105s, this is the top tier. He is in the company of the best. He gets a good mark of distance. We'll get that measurement. But Mike Kropacek, representing the USA, comes out with the top finish in this heat. Is it fast enough to beat 17.31 seconds by Ben Gutsky? I don't know about that. 29 seconds for Mike. Very strong and respectable time. Clearing the course with this weight itself is no easy feat. Our 5th heat steps into the arena. Sam Concanen in lane number 1. Stephen Bradley, lane number 2, representing USA. Matthew McKeegan, Ireland, in lane number 3. And Patrick Santiago, USA, in lane number 4. McKeegan and Bradley moving fast, but Bradley has got the strides and the power. Quick transition.
He's going to have to keep that nice and steady on the way back, and he does look steady.
No
He's gonna
drops.
do that dive, and that is a fantastic time.
So sorry. What a strong mustache, too. I think that imparts a little bit of extra power, I would go so far to say.
Mustaches always impart extra power. There's no doubt about that.
And there we have Santiago finishing the distance. Concanen gets a little bit of distance to earn some points and to escape a possible 0.
And continuously getting finishes across the board.
Matthew McKeegan, 21.42 seconds. Fast, but still leaving Ben Gutsky as our leader. Lane 1 in Heat 6 is Chris Harrison of England. Lane 2, Timothy Makowski, USA. Lane 3, Yuri Ohonovsky, Ukraine. And in lane number 4, Frank Provenzano, USA.
What a that
Lightning.
I'm speechless right now.
Lightning.
Lane one, Michael
Martinez, he's
that
coming
is
right
Chris
at us,
Harrison.
man.
He is moving,
Oh.
but he loses the balance, and that's going to cost him.
Mikowski.
He still gets a good time.
Inches ahead.
Oh, Harrison probably would have had the fastest time of the day with that kind of speed. But that's the kind of gamble you take when you go all out.
Yeah, each arm just takes, it does take that impact with every step that you take, and you have to really be mindful of keeping that control, keeping that level as you go through. But
There's a perfect balance, and the thing is, it's like steady and fairly fast is better than all out maniac fast because of that reason. Because if you lose that balance, you're going to lose way too much time repicking that weight.
Mikowski versus Harrison is a prime example of that right now.
Be a turtle.
Be a fast turtle, but be a turtle.
Be a fast turtle. Be a turtle with a rocket booster.
The turtle with a nitrous oxide tank strapped to him, ready to unleash. Frank Provenzano, 21.1 seconds, winning that. Or let's see. I don't know if that's correct. I'm going to wait for some clarification there. All right, Timothy Mikowski finishes with 17.93 seconds, just barely short
Incredible.
of catching Ben Gutsky.
Nice, smooth start by absolutely everyone. It was neck and neck.
Olsen is the first to complete the course and turn around and move. He's looking strong. He's not going to get a drop.
Beautiful finish.
Wow.
And it was neck and neck until Marroquin dropped it, and then Olsen just took off.
O'Connor moving down. If he doesn't drop it,
And
look
he's
at that.
through.
Well done, O'Connor. Di Piero versus Marroquin here, clearing the final remaining distance on this course.
Di Piero so close. Just needs to get that second farmer implement over the line, and he does it.
Servando Marroquin in lane 3 is calling it there. All right, we are moving on to heat number 8. We have 3 heats left in this 105 class of athletes. Yuri Chadklik, how would you say that, Martins? Do you know?
Yuri Chadchik.
Chadklik. Yuri, we're going to have to meet up with him and see how we can
I wanna
best pronounce his name. But
I don't want to botch it. I
is,
want to meet up with this guy and get this right.
he is our Czech Republic representing athlete in lane number 1, followed by Tyler Calabresi in lane number 2, Jonathan Parker in lane 3, and Alex Sukup in lane number 4. The last 3 athletes all from the USA. John Parker in lane 3, one of my athletes that I coach. Really looking forward to what he's got here on this Farmer's Walk. But this is heavyweight for all 4 of these guys. 330 in each hand, a 660-pound total deadlift to lift off the ground and carry, bearing from these farmers' handles.
All right, all pressure on Parker. Sukup with a fast start, loses balance. Calabrese steady the entire time, nice and smooth.
John gets there without a drop.
Showing what control, how important control is in this sport.
Calabrese moves ahead.
Calabrese.
Wow.
Steady and smooth,
Wow.
winning as usual.
Barely inching ahead of Sukup. And here comes John. Gets one drop. Parker and Tadlchik.
Parker still fighting for that finish, and he gets it.
Good job, John. We have 2 heats remaining. Tyler Calabrese with 22.47 seconds leading that heat. Still
We
in
got
the lead.
a phenomenal athlete up, Justin Loy.
Can Justin beat Timothy Mikowski's time of 17, or I'm sorry, Ben's time of 17.3?
Justin Loy's trained under Anthony Furman in the past. Anthony is 2-time 105 kilo world champion. So I'm absolutely expecting to see a phenomenal performance by Loy here.
Justin got down that course fastest,
Now
followed
he just
closely
needs
by
to keep
Diver.
that control, and he's going to crush this event. And he's through.
Wow.
That's going to be an excellent time by Justin.
Wow. Heats or lanes 3 and 4 really were neck and neck, and Justin just
Incredible. And
had
I
that
saw
long
it
stride
coming
control.
too.
He did.
I
He did.
knew he was going to destroy it.
But he is a tried and tested athlete, and he really has that strength to showcase.
Oddly enough, not the best overhead either.
No, but he did get enough points, the points that he needed to have a good placing on that Viking press.
From 1 repetition, which is awesome. That was some heavy pressing.
Justin Loy, our new leader, with 16.03 seconds.
That is lightning.
Incredible. Rivaling the times of Nick Bess and Mark Felix with their respective weights. But 1 heat remains, and that is with our top placers from the Viking Press event moving into this Farmer's Walk. Who do we have there, Martins?
We got Brandon Burley of USA, Dan Hughes of USA, Andrew Clayton of USA, Nicholas Hine of USA. Now my money's on Andrew Clayton. I've competed against him in the past. He's had some knee issues, but I was talking to him in the back, and he was saying that his knees have healed up and he's feeling pretty good. He used to be a heavyweight competitor. Was I think an axle press world record holder
Right at the Giants
middleweight.
Live Martinsville event in Indiana. Yeah,
Incredible.
And that is what the one that took out his knee,
That's
or
right.
that, or he reattempted the new one.
Yeah, when he was attempting to beat Eddie Hall's record, that's when he hurt his knee.
Look at Andrew just sprinting down the course.
Okay, this is going to be. Unless he messes up now, he's going to win this event.
Andrew has also run marathons in the past. He is a hybrid athlete of sorts.
If you want to look him up on Instagram, his literal name is Running Strongman on Instagram, and here he's showing what he's made out of.
He is happy with that. It
He
was
does
lightning
run
fast.
indeed.
Justin Loy with 16.03 seconds. Clayton seemingly moving even faster, but we're going to have to wait to get an official confirmation
I am
of his
certain
time.
that is the new leader.
Andrew Clayton, 14.99
Incredible.
seconds. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Andrew is here to make a statement, a triumphant comeback after dealing with injury, coming down from the heavyweight division, competing in the 105s.
And before this, also competing in marathons, running and
Yes, a long-distance endurance athlete as well. He has also competed in powerlifting. He is a show de force in many ways, and he is here to contest his ability in becoming the world's strongest man under 105 kilos. You know, Martins, watching these past 3, classes of athletes, but especially here, you're seeing these guys place so highly very early on, setting a really good pace and putting the pressure on all the athletes who are later to go on the roster. I mean, it was amazing to see with each heat how that bar kept getting reset and pushed further and further ahead. And here we have the official scores.
this was the most intense heat to watch. Just look at how close these scores are from the top 10. I think this is the closest so far that I've seen of time between just the top 10.
All of these scores, the top 10 are within 5.5 seconds of each other. From first through 10, there's only 5.5 seconds that separate them. Maybe a little bit more than 5.5. But wow.
These are just some top-level athletes. The middleweights are always very impressive to watch. Every single show I've been to, they put up similar weights as the heavyweights do, and they just have phenomenal work capacity and speed.
It's such a highly competitive division. It really is. I was telling Laws about it earlier. You have a weight limit on these athletes to where the athlete can't get too big. You know, they can't start gaining body fat. So you wind up having the maximum amount of muscle that you can cram onto this frame. You get creating this very, very predator-type build of an individual. It's
a bunch of action figures out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we move on to our men's masters over 40.
For the fourth event today, the men will not be taking part. They will be doing it at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, but the women will be taking part in the sandbag to shoulder. So once this deadlift is done, they will clear out the deadlift. We'll put the sandbags out there for all of the women's classes. The men won't compete in the sandbag until tomorrow morning.
It has been a long day, Laws, and
well, it really has.
You know,
we're closing in on 8 p.m. now locally. We still need to get through the women. We still need to get through a few more classes on this deadlift.
We do, and this is just, you know, above all else, we are here to see the athletes perform at their highest level. And there's a certain point that is drawn in the sand where you need to take the prioritization of these athletes' performance and health into account. We got to get some rest.
Absolutely. Once these athletes are done, they're allowed to get out of here on the deadlift. The men will be able to go and rest, recuperate, ready to come back tomorrow morning.
So
the women have to stay longer, but they get longer rest in the morning.
Yes. And we're moving on to our men's 105 category. 640 pounds will be on the bar.
290 kilos.
Big weight. But we still have, this is one of 3 classes of competitor left in our men's division. But wow, it's a long day, man.
It's been a long day. How are you coping?
I'm great.
You're doing an amazing job.
I love this. It's getting to share the mic with one of the guys I looked up to so highly in the sport as I was an up-and-comer.
I appreciate it.
It's been a great time, man.
It's been fun.
But the feats of strength are not over for the day. Even though the day has become a little bit shortened by that announcement, we still have a lot of power left in store to witness. Some big magnitude deadlifts are here, already loaded for our men's 105 class. And we still have our men's over 40 class and our men's open class, vying for that Giants Live spot.
Lots still to fight for.
Lots more trembles to be felt on the ground here today.
I think those trembles are going to increase as well. The weight keeps going up.
Getting to see 11 reps hit on that last set of athletes with 610. Double digits at this weight, even as the bar increases, it is a tremendous feat, and it really makes my butt cheeks burn. That is.
I know how much you love a deadlift.
That is a pump like no other when you do high rep deadlifts.
When will we see you competing next?
Let's see. Right now, my eyes are set on actually traveling all the way to Australia in January to compete for Australia's Strongest International.
That's going to be fun.
So if I can get some of my sponsor team to help with that plane ticket, we'll get over there and make some waves.
It's not a cheap flight, is it?
Not coming from the USA, but that's why I have a lot of respect for the Australians here today. It's a long flight, an arduous one, and a bit of an expensive one, but there's some.
First 2 athletes out for the deadlift in the under 105s.
Cannon feeling a little bit of a strain coming from his upper glute, it looks like. Ohonovsky moving away, got his 3rd rep down.
Yeah, looking very solid here. I don't think we're going to get another rep in that time limit.
I think when you stand up and unstrap, it's time to just. No, 10 seconds. He's going to be rushed. Well, let's see. No.
So 4 repetitions there.
The pace setter for our men's under 105. Yuri of Ukraine. Starting strong and moving on to the field. Heat number 2, Nicholas Hine, USA, lane 1. Josh Harrelson, USA, lane 2. Ingve Wehus Norway in lane 3 and Servando Marroquin in lane 4.
Hein in lane 1 looking very strong here. Seems to enjoy a deadlift. 290 kilos, 640 pounds. He's already pulled 4 reps. Puts himself into the lead there with the 5th.
Servando Marroquin, 3 reps, just like Ingve in lane number 3. 3 reps as well, locking out his 4th.
4 reps is solid, but currently our leader is Nicholas Hein on 6 repetitions.
And locks out his 7th.
Again, another athlete that you can see has got those calluses strapped up, but luckily on an axle with straps, not such a big deal.
Still takes a hard individual to tune out the pain of some fresh raw skin underneath, but
These are strong men.
These are strong
If you
men.
can't take some pain, you're in the wrong sport.
well said. Could not have said it better. All right. Lane number 1, Yuri Chadilchik. I've needed to learn how to pronounce his name. I just
We'll
could
have
not.
to speak to him. It's a tricky one.
I was looking for him earlier to see if I could figure out how to say it, but he's in lane number 1, representing the Czech Republic. Lane number 2, Travis Hayes of China. Lane 3, Ollie Clark of England, and lane 4, Paul Nzwana of Zambia.
Representation for China in both the men's and women's classes.
I was talking to Martins when he and I were both commentating not too long ago, and he was telling me how Travis Hayes, he owns a gym there in China and had paid for Martins to go out there and help coach a lot of his gym there on how to do strongman events.
That's cool.
And ever since then, they have been getting themselves into the strongman scene, and now we have Travis Hayes here at OSG,
So good to see.
putting all that knowledge imparted by the Dragon to work. 6 reps by our Czech athlete in lane number 1. He is happy with that. All right, lane number 4, James Brown, or heat number 4 in lane 1, James Brown of the UK. Lane 2, Michael DiPiero of the USA. Lane 3, Vitaly Mikheyev of Ukraine. And lane number 4, Jonathan Parker, one of my Los Titans who I have here today. John Parker is another phenomenal deadlifter. This is one of the events he has been looking forward to the most. I'm looking at lane 4. I want to see some big reps from John, but he is in company of the strongest in the world here today. And John is the first one to lock out that rep.
John looks very strong in lane number 4 there. John Parker. Looking strong through the full lift. 4 reps, no problem. 5 repetitions.
He is the champion of the Rainier Classic earlier this year in Washington State. 7 reps by John Parker.
Brown closest to us, just stumbling around, but he manages to get control and get his 3rd rep.
Our new leader, John Parker, that's my boy. 9 reps.
You called it, Gabe. You said he could deadlift. He certainly can.
Double digits for
10
Parker.
reps.
10 reps at 640. Incredible. He should be proud of that. I sure am. Proud coach moment to see.
So
Incredible.
good to see.
All right. Michael O'Connor in lane 1, Patrick Santiago lane 2, Mike Kropaschek in lane 3. All 3 USA athletes, and lane number 4, Melvin Mwimba of Zambia in lane number 4.
I love this Zambian team that's come across. They seem really supportive of each other. Great to see athletes from that region taking part in this contest. O'Connor looking strong in lane 1.
5 reps already on the board by O'Connor. But 45 seconds, you should not be stepping back and taking your time. You've got to utilize every second.
You can't step back from this bar with only 45 seconds. You need to attack it start to finish. There's no recovery time with a 45-second time limit.
There's none. And I tell any athlete under my wing, even at minute time caps, it's only a minute. Yeah. You need to train yourself to be able to last and maximize the amount of work you can cram into that. But even with stepping away from the bar, he walks out with 7 reps. Would have tied him for first place were it not for John Parker getting that 10 reps in the heat before. All right, heat number 6. Marshall Zinn in lane 1, USA. Mark Bischoff, Switzerland, lane 2. Alex Sukup, USA, lane 3. Sky Olsen, USA, lane number 4.
Mark Bischoff been working really hard this last year. An athlete I've been working with, just wanting to prove he belongs at this level.
Sukup fast off the ground into lockout. He is one of 2 Sukups here today. Alec and Seth, very strong brothers.
Zinn, closest to us. Looking really solid through his lift.
He has got his technique down to maximize that low gear torque from his legs off the floor.
Maintains perfect positioning.
Look at that spinal posture.
Squeezes through. He doesn't have that explosive power, but the whole lift is nice and smooth.
Goes back to that metaphor of a truck pulling a heavy load. Wow, great work. A tie between lanes 1 and 3 with 6 repetitions. I see Marshall Zinn reaching down for his strap on the ground. That was a very slow reach down. He's going to wake up tomorrow morning.
Sore.
It looks like he's got a 2x4 strapped to his back right there, holding him up.
And I can tell you, I know what that feels like.
I do too, brother. I do too. It's an earned feeling.
It is indeed. And he's going to feel worse tomorrow morning.
we know it. All right, those late night trips to the bathroom are going to really hit hard. But Tyler Calabrese in lane 1, USA. Tristan, lane 2, USA. Thomas Owens, England, lane 3, and Matthew McKeegan, Ireland, in lane number 4.
Talk to Matthew. He's felt a strain in his lat, but he is a phenomenal deadlifter, former world record holder in the under 105s, and he needs some big points here. Competition hasn't gone to plan so far. He needs to really push hard and win this event.
I think
he wants to get into the top 10.
He's got his eyes on John Parker, already getting 6 reps.
He's a 400 kilo plus deadlifter, over 880 pounds. He's pulled over 900 pounds, in fact.
Wow. That's something right there. And that strained lat doesn't seem to faze him.
He's got to keep going. He hasn't got time to mess around. 10 reps is the target to beat from Parker, which was an unbelievable effort. I just feel Matt's taking a bit too much time here. Can he equal it?
In the nick of time, he gets the down command
Whoa,
from the judge.
He's given absolutely everything there. Medics rushing straight to him. He's a real warrior. He's someone that it means so much to him. He'll be okay. He's one of those guys that just heart on his sleeve. And I think he's just given absolutely everything there. You ever been in that position where you're pulling so hard and you start to feel dizzy? When you're strapped to the bar, it's so disorientating. You kind of suddenly let go and you just fall backwards because you've been giving everything on every single rep. Hopefully he hasn't banged his head. That's the real issue that they'll be looking at as he fell there. I think he's starting to move.
You know, what I'm looking for here is any violent shakes going on in his legs.
There's nothing like that.
There's nothing like that.
You can see he's breathing okay. I think he's just given absolutely everything.
His consciousness is
He's
there.
starting to get up now.
He is fine. Just really pushing to that absolute limit of human potential.
I mean, that was 10 reps there, and he's got a lat issue as well.
I saw the down command from the judge signifying he had a good lift, but we'll have to confirm to see if he did indeed beat John Parker or...
I think he would have tied. I don't think he would have beaten him. I think they would have both ended up on 10.
10 reps.
10 reps?
10 reps. So that is a tie with John
10.
Parker. Wow, a tie for first place. And I see the medics pulled a stretcher out there, but he did not need it. He pushed them away.
No,
He probably just fainted.
It's weird. I've watched Strongman for so many years now, and you see these things happen quite regularly. And you can normally tell when it's something serious and when it's something that, unfortunately, we do see strongmen collapse quite regularly when they're pushing to such extreme circumstances.
Well, that inner blood pressure can just skyrocket under such a tremendous load, exponentially carried over rep after rep after rep. But it does build up, and when there's that release and it's done, the lights might just go out for a little bit, but they'll come back on. All right. Provenzano, Thomason, Harrer, and Burley in their lanes
Provenzano here
respectively.
on lane 1 looking very, very solid.
He's going to make a run for that 10-rep range.
He's looking very good right now. 8 repetitions. Could well take the lead. He's not slowing down. And he's got time to get an 11th.
He's tied for first. He needs one more rep.
Oh, he's just got stuck
no.
just above the knees. Can he look out?
Oh, we have a three-way tie so far at 10 repetitions.
And another athlete that goes down, pure exhaustion, giving everything once again. These under
I thought he had
105
it.
athletes.
I thought he had it, but he's happy. He's tied for first. That's incredible.
10 reps for 3 athletes at 640 pounds on an axle.
Heat number 9, Chris Harrison of England. Lane 2, Dan Hughes. Lane 3, Stephen Bradley. Lane 4, Timothy Mikowski. Lanes 2 through 4, all USA athletes with lane number 1 from England.
Hughes is looking powerful in lane 2. Bradley also looking strong in lane 3. 7 reps there for Hughes. Lane number 2, he's looking really good here, maintaining great form.
He needs 3 reps to come out in first.
Just starting to slow down now.
He's got 15 seconds left, but he
He
stopped.
could well get this 10th rep. He's got to dig deep now. Can he get it over the knees? Needs to pull those hips through. I'm not sure he's got time to do it. Oh, let go of that bar.
Oh,
Such a great
saw
effort
that
there.
stumbling back. I thought he was going to take
I'll
a
tell
spill.
you what, Bradley did exceptionally well to hit 9 as well.
Just a huge load. Bradley, I dare say, has one of the best mustaches here. And Martins told me that good mustaches do have a carryover in power.
Well, seems to work for Gav Bilton.
Big Gav. One of the greatest mustaches on the planet.
So we are into our final heat of 4 athletes. Gutsky, Diver, Loy, and Clayton. Our final 4 athletes in the under 105 class.
Diver moving very well, as is Clayton. See a little bit more strain out of Clayton than Diver, but
Just starting to slow down there on rep number 5.
Clayton taking a knee, as is Diver. Loy also on rep 5.
So this is interesting. We've seen a number of 8, 9s, and 10s. These are our current leaders. Justin Loy adding to his total. Solid performance there, 6 reps. 6 reps for 3 of the athletes there.
And that concludes our men's under 105 kg class.
And that means we move on to our masters over 40s. We have some good deadlifters in this lineup.
This is going to be fun to watch. Well, we finished our 105 kgs with a 3-way tie, I believe, for first place with 10 reps. We'll confirm that with the official scores as they are posted to the screen. But it takes some serious power to walk away with double digits on a bar of this weight load.
And look, more weight going on the bars.
We're going up to 660 pounds, 299.5 kg. There's something about the weightlifter in me and the OCD part of myself that sees 299.5 is like, I wish it was just at an even 300, but
That's the problem with pounds.
pounds versus kilos just doesn't quite synchronize that way. But 660 pounds on the axle.
Do you know what? I think with the collars, we can call it 300 kilos.
Yeah, let's call it 300 kilos. I'm sure if any of these athletes post it to social media, they're going to put 300 kilos. No one wants to see that 299.5.
No,
And
it's
when it
just-
could be 3,
Yeah.
let's get an even 3.
You always round up, right?
Yeah, round up. 5 rounds up to the
There
nearest
we
10.
go. Our results from the under 105 men's.
A 3-way tie for 10th. Provenzano, McKeegan, and Parker leaving it all out there on the field. Dan Hughes and Stephen Bradley tying with 9 reps just behind that 3-way tie. And then we have another 3-way tie for 3rd place with 7 repetitions by Burley, Hine, and O'Connor. And then a 2-way tie between Clayton and Loy, unless there is another
There
athlete with
could
6
be another
reps.
page with 6. Let's just wait and see. There we
Wow,
go.
a 6-way tie with
tie.
6 reps and a 6-way tie with 5 reps, unless there's more on the next page.
And there
Yeah,
it
a
is.
7-way tie and a 7-way tie with 4. There's a lot of point spreading out there,
Yeah.
but this is such a closely matched roster of athletes. Incredible. There's zero room for error here because the errors, as small and minute as they can be, will cost heavily.
So the weight's gone up. We're up at 300 kilos.
300
we're calling it,
kilos on the bar.
660 pounds. Do you think we can see double figures from our Masters athletes?
Oh, I do, and I've got my money on a few of them here, but the with Ahipin.
So our under 105 athletes, Dan Hughes and Andrew Clayton, both at the top of the table. They're tied on 108.5 points. Justin Loy not too far behind, 103.5. Sean Diver, 102.5. And then Brandon Burley only a 1.5 behind on 101. Have a bit of a drop back then to 93, 87, 87, 85, and 82 points. But still, as we say, lots to fight for. Matthew McKeegan pulling himself right up there with a good, solid deadlift performance.
Is almost set. Our first heat of men's under 105 kg athletes is a 3-man heat. We have Josh Harrelson of USA in lane number 1, Sammy Konkanen of Suomi in lane number 2, and Jake Hare of USA in lane number 3. This is a massive series loss, 350 pounds at the very end. This would be a challenging bag for us to shoulder. Like you said, that is a 1 metric Martins Licis in peak prime condition to get to your shoulder. And that is a big bag, but we are asking our men under 231 pounds to get it to their shoulder. What a feat of strength this will be for any man who can do all 4.
When I saw the weights of this sandbag to shoulder, straight away you just knew it was going to be a challenging event.
This is, we are trying to crown the world's strongest man under 105 kgs here, and he is going to have to earn that victory and crown every step of the way.
Yeah, just losing the balance there.
Harrelson showing some great technique and explosiveness at the hips. He needs to keep that power for this 325, but this is not the time to waste here. He needs to move. Just not enough time.
I'm just looking. We've got the final bag just sat in front of us.
That is a bigger bag.
That is a big bag.
That is a tall bag. And these athletes will ideally have a taller frame than the last group of athletes, but at a certain point, a bag as big and as heavy as the Dragon himself, you really need to be in control and aware of how gravity is pulling you and the bag at every turn. Our next heat number 2, is a 3-man heat. Tristan Lee of USA in lane 1, Ben Gutsky of USA in lane number 2, and Mark Bischoff of Switzerland in lane number 3.
So just 3 athletes in this heat. Mark Bischoff gets the bag to shoulder, as do the other 2 athletes, almost in unison on the down.
Lee has his technique
Lee moved
spot
well
on
that
that
second
bag.
Gutsy also. Mark struggling on the second bag. Can he get the balance? He does it. Gets it.
Look at Lee getting that 325 so
I'll tell you
quickly.
what, that 3 sandbags with this lineup is good.
Tristan Lee of the USA has 10 seconds, 350 pounds. It's just too long of a bag. And although he is seemingly the tallest athlete in this heat, it is not enough time.
It really is a huge bag.
What a great showing on those first 3 by Tristan Lee in lane 1.
Very impressive.
Heat number 3, moving on. A full 4-man run. Travis Hayes of China in lane number 1. Servando Marroquin representing Mexico in lane number 2. Michael Di Piero of USA in lane number 3. And James Brown of the UK in lane number 4. Servando Marroquin, a friend and a former athlete of mine in lane number 2, representing Mexico, his roots and his heritage. Finishing in second at the Arnold Amateur World Championships this year. But Hayes of China in lane 1 on a rampage with that first and second bag.
Hayes looking really good through these early sandbags. Moving quick between the bags as well, not wasting any time. Straight up to his lap. This is very, very solid sandbag lifting. He's got plenty of time for this 4th bag.
He needs to move. Marroquin gets the third bag up. He needs to move as well. There's no time to sit and waste. Hayes just
Battling. I mean, it's such a huge sandbag, this one. It's a real significant increase in size from the 3rd bag.
Well, Hayes is walking away with all smiles.
Big smiles.
He is happy. He looks so good on those first 3, as did Marroquin.
3 real fast there.
And let's not forget that third bag is just a little bit heavier than myself.
Even our helpers are struggling and ended up on the floor trying to reset them.
It's a big bag, and it can easily throw someone down, even a big man. All right, heat number 4. Yngve Weus of Norway in lane 1. Thomas Owens of England in lane 2. Yuri Ohonovsky of Ukraine in lane number 3. And Chris Harrison of England in lane number 4. A lot of Norwegian athletes out here at the official Strongman Games, coming from the land of mountain, stone, fjords, and cold. Got Harrison, the first to move to the second bag, all 4 men advancing.
No one is quick in this heat, but moving smoothly through. Owens is onto the 3rd bag.
325 on the way up. Owens taking his time, getting a good positioning. Just pries itself
Loses
loose.
that bag.
Our Norseman in lane 1, wrestling with it.
Just can't get the right position.
Oh, Ohonovsky, the Ukrainian in lane 3,
He
still
does
shoulders
but
it.
too late.
He walks through his smiles. He had to prove that to himself. Sometimes, Laz, when you make it this far to the World Championships, even if the time frame escapes you and you're right there, you got to do it a little bit for yourself and finish the damn thing.
Definitely been there before.
All right, Sky Olsen in lane 1 of the USA. In lane number 2, Timothy Makowski, USA. Lane number 3, Vitaly Mikhaev of Ukraine in lane number 3. And Mike Kropacek, USA, lane number 4. Looks like we have some more Ukrainian strength in store in lane number 3. All 4 men onto the second bag. Look at Makowski and Olsen.
Mikowski gets number 3. This is good.
He's moving. He's not stopping, and that's what I like to see. On the way up to the lap, Makowski in lane 2, 350 pounds. He gets it to the lap. Here we go. Can he be the first?
Just trying to make sure he gets a good hand positioning on that sandbag.
Clock is ticking, just not enough time.
So heavy.
Wow. right. Heat 6, Melvin Wimba of Zambia in lane 1. Corey Thomason, USA in lane 2. Patrick Santiago, USA, lane 3. And Ollie Clark, England in lane number 4. I'm loving the representation of our Zambian athletes out here at the official Strongman Games. A lot of power
It's been
on
so
the other
good to
side of the
see.
world.
Yeah. And they've got a real team out here.
They do, they do. A very cohesive unit of strong individuals. But wow, Thomason seemingly throwing the bag up to his shoulder with ease.
Look how easy that second bag goes up as well.
See if he can keep that same momentum with this big 325. Just slipping out of his grasp. He needs a good crushing grip here.
And Ollie Clark coming through in the far end. Thompson's in a better position now.
Yeah,
Just
prize
couldn't
himself.
quite get it up.
Mwimba on his way up. 10 seconds left.
Can any of these four athletes get this huge sandbag up to their shoulder?
Not
all
quite.
battling hard.
Mwimba all smiles. He gave it his all, and he is happy, shaking his judge's hand.
I think every single event he's done, he goes to shake the hands of the referee.
I love it. What a
Such
sportsman.
respect, yeah. Happy to be here fighting for every single point.
Heat number 7. Another Zambian athlete, Paul Mwanza in lane number 1. Tyler Calabrese, USA in lane 2. Marshall Zinn, USA in lane 3. And Yuri Tauchik, Czech Republic in lane number 4. Tyler Calabrese, USA, had a strong showing yesterday on the first day of the official Strongman Games. Let's see that momentum carry him through. Hopefully all 4 bags here. It's looking good.
Nice, looking good, using the gloves.
Mwanza right behind him.
Some athletes like to use the kind of workman gloves. They just allow a little bit more grip. I know yourself, you prefer to have your hands touching the sandbags. Sometimes with these shorter limbed athletes, it's actually quite helpful. And I know someone like Brian Shaw likes wearing them as well. So it's all personal preference when it comes
Everyone
to
has their own
things like
flavor, that's for sure. But look at Mwanza.
that. Mwanza's onto this last bag. He's close here. Oh,
Wow. He got very close. Very close. That's just such a big, tall, and cumbersome bag at the very end. You need as much of a cushion as time as you can possibly give yourself.
well, originally we were supposed to have 60 seconds for this event as well. It was cut down to 45 just because of the situation we're in, time restraints, having to get through these events. And 45 seconds is very challenging to do all 4 sandbags.
It is, it is. That is averaging 1 bag every 11 seconds.
Here's a great lineup, though.
Look at big Andrew Clayton there in lane number 4. And we have Justin Loy, USA, lane 3. Sean Diver, Ireland, lane number 2. And Alex Sukup, USA, in lane 1. Loy and Clayton, I'm watching. These guys are precise machines. The Sukup cannot be counted out, nor can Diver. Look at Clayton.
He is flying through those early bags.
Competed at the heavyweight division and excelled, overcoming injury.
Look at this.
Clayton onto the 350. He has the power. He has the time. And
he's going to do it.
he has the 350.
Yes.
Andrew
Yes.
Clayton. The hammer fist to the bag at the very end there.
Andrew Clayton becomes our first athlete to lift this 350-pound bag.
Did he just get on it and start slapping it? That was
And surprisingly, Justin Loy is struggling here with that 3rd bag.
Andrew Clayton. Just ready to show he is back
He was
and stronger than ever. Might be lighter than his former self. But wow. He is a machine. Just incredible power from Clayton there. Surprised to see Justin Lloyd did not make it all the way through. But these bags test every ounce of strength and mental fortitude that these athletes will carry out onto the field. Heat number 9, Michael O'Connor, lane 1, Nicholas Hine, lane 2, Brandon Burley, lane 3, and Stephen Bradley, lane 4.
wow,
all
look
USA.
at that time for Andrew Clayton. 4 sandbags in 25:73.
On average, 1 bag every 6 seconds.
That would have been a
Insane.
great time for 3 bags.
That was a time by Clayton that could rival any World's Strongest Man competitor. But he has what it takes. Look at O'Connor. And Hine.
Hine is flying as well through these.
Nicholas Hine, USA, lane number 2. Plenty of time for this big 350. Following the performance of Andrew Clayton, he needs to move.
Really interesting to see. He's got one hand gloved up, one hand is free. Oh. He's been very quick through 3 though. And with only Andrew managing to do 4, should be solid points there.
Tremendous effort by Nicholas Hine right there. We have only 1 heat remaining in our men's 105 kg class. Dan Hughes of USA will be in lane 1. John Parker, USA, in lane 2. Matthew McKeegan of Ireland in lane number 3. And Frank Provenzano of USA in lane number 4. My boy John Parker, one of my athletes, in lane number 2. Incredible performance on deadlift yesterday. Hitting 10 reps at that 660-pound axle.
So in the center, we've got a battle of our athletes then. Matt McKeegan and Jonathan Parker, both exceptional deadlifters. How are their sandbags?
Let's see. Parker was looking forward to this event well before it started. All smiles going in. Let's see his strength.
All 4 looking very close.
Look at Hughes, very quick. The first man to the 3rd bag. Parker right behind him.
Hughes is going really well here in lane number 1.
Hughes,
he's already
plenty
onto
of cushion.
this
He wants Clayton's time.
350-pound bag.
It's a tough pick. Parker right behind him.
Can he get this up? Yes. Balance. And Hughes gets it.
Wow.
Second man to do all 4 sandbags. Parker looking close. Just goes
pulls
down.
him down.
McKeegan is on his lap. He's a big battle. I don't think he's got time. But Hughes there in lane number 1. Really solid.
Wow.
And another man to finish.
He was chasing Andrew Clayton, and I don't think he caught him, but wow, he was right behind him.
Andrew Clayton's time was phenomenal. That really was one of the most impressive things I've seen all weekend. 25 seconds to do all 4 bags. Have we seen faster than that in any class?
I don't know. What was Rhiannon's time on those 4 bags? It was not that
she
quick.
was amazing, but Andrew Clayton there. I'm still kind of stunned by that performance.
Yeah, there's what a showstopper. Incredible.
You know, there was no wasting any time as well. He just moved on and got, here we go. We can see a replay here. First sandbag, no problem. Quick in between each sandbag as well. There's no time wasted whatsoever. Hand goes underneath, thrusts the bag straight up to the shoulder.
How reactive that hand switches to the underneath. Look at that.
This is a well-practiced athlete as well. He knows exactly where his hands are going to go on every single attempt. Squeeze bear hugging that sandbag. Needs to get it over the knees. He does, hand underneath. And once again, there's no having to bump it up the chest and fight against it. Every bag went from lap to shoulder in one smooth motion. Yes. He's enjoying
a showman both during and after the whistle blows.
So we're going to get some scores up on the board for you guys. And Andrew Clayton with that was, for me, the most impressive thing I've seen all day.
Yeah, definitely. I will agree with you there. But in second place, Dan Hughes, 4 bags in 31.49 seconds. Nicholas Hine is the first of the rest of the athletes to not get that 4th bag, with Jonathan Parker 3 bags in 21.5 seconds for a 4th place finish. But wow, I mean, you couldn't have said it better. That is the performance so far of the day. Andrew Clayton in lightning speed, averaging 1 bag every 6 and a fraction of a second. Incredible.
Justin Loy not in the top 10 there. How costly will that be for Justin?
Men's under 105. After event 4, Andrew Clayton with a half a point lead over Dan Hughes in first place with 31.5 points. Hughes with 31 points. In third, Nicholas Hine, 24.5 points. And only 1 point behind Hine is Brandon Burley, 23.5 points. John Parker, one of my athletes, very proud to see him up there at number 5, 21.5 points. Sean Diver, 19.5 points, puts him in 6th, with Matthew McKeegan only half a point behind. And Justin Loy makes it to the finals, half a point behind Keegan. Provenzano, half a point behind Justin Loy in 9th. And Alex Sukup, one of the Sukups here today, makes it into the OSG 2022 final.
I'll tell you what, Clayton and Dan Hughes at the top there, both really supreme performers in the first 4 events.
Supreme is the adjective to use, my friend, and there are so many half a point differences there. It is a nail biter, and these guys have the pressure. They have the pressure. 30 points in each event, or 10 points in each event are up for grabs. A total of 30 points up for grabs today. Seeing how they will fall over these next 3 final events will crown the world's strongest man in each category.
So 408 kilograms on the back as ever. A 50-foot distance, just over 15 meters. 60 seconds, normally not necessary, as Justin Loy against Provenzano. It's an all-American clash here. Provenzano.
Loy accelerates,
on the
passing
far side.
Provenzano.
Yes, Loy in the lead.
Incredible finish. Provenzano started first, but Loy picked up and turned on the gas and got the job done. Our current event leader, Justin Loy, in lane number 1.
Well, you're the human clock. What do you reckon he did there?
That was really close to the 10-second mark. However, I'm guessing it's going to be around 11 or 12. 11.23 seconds for Justin Loy.
As ever, very close indeed. Well done, Gabriel. You're pretty good at this.
I'm a fighting tune instrument, my friend. I might have done this once or twice before.
Indeed, indeed. So Loy is making the lead at the moment. Our next pair out will be Sean Diver of Ireland against Alec Sukup of the United States. Further on down the order, we've got to look forward to Andrew Clayton, the 2017 world champion, as we look back at Justin Loy crossing the line ahead of Provenzano.
Here they come, Sean Diver and Alex Sukup. Alex Sukup in lane 2, one of the 2 Sukup brothers here today, showing their strength amidst the world's strongest.
So Diver closest to camera, Sukup on the far side. Diver, the Irishman. No doubt a lot of Irish watching back home, and he gets a cracking start here, but it starts to get a bit of a wobble on. Never a good thing.
Never a good thing. Both men seeming a bit wobbly, but they are accelerating. No drops yet.
Could this be Diver coming back near the end? No, it's Sukup who goes for the line, dives, it bites, and I think he's going to get it.
Neither man, unfortunately, will be able to catch Loy's time of 11.23 seconds. However, clearing this course at 900 pounds is quite a feat of strength.
It gets. Yeah. Sometimes it's good to give it a break. I think we can't talk all the time. Well, there's the famous Laurent Charlet on the left-hand side, looking as handsome as ever. He's
so svelte, so trim.
So svelte. I don't know if anyone would call those svelte.
Very aerodynamic.
Not with all that hair.
Sean Diver finishes with a time of 19.74 seconds, a sub-20-second run for our Irishman on that last heat. Our next heat up to the arena is Matthew McKeegan of Ireland in lane 1 and Brendan Burley of the USA in lane number 2. And they are off. 900 pounds. McKeegan is first up, but sustains a drop. Any drop is critical here at the final. Both men go down. McKeegan inching closer and closer to the finish line. He clears the course, ready to cheer on Burley.
So McKeegan against Burley, and right now it's Burley who's still attempting to cross the line here.
He's got 10 seconds remaining, but he is feeling fried. He stepped free.
A very low pickup, I fear.
Very low. You can see how it sits, measuring up to his lower upper back.
Yes, lower upper back. I certainly understand you.
It paints a picture.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fine line, isn't it? It's only an inch or two.
There definitely is that Goldilocks zone that you were talking about that you have to find. You don't want it too low. You don't want it too high. You have to know perfectly where you got to be.
I mean, we are talking 408 kilos. That's some.
This is competitive weight for even a heavyweight athlete, but these are our men under 105.
Absolutely.
We would classify them technically as middleweight athletes. So massive loads, but very characteristic of anyone worthy to claim the title of World's Strongest Man under 105 kilos.
So we move on. We have just 2 pairs left, and it will be Jonathan Parker against Nicholas Hine. And then Dan Hughes and Andrew Clayton. If you're wondering where Nicholas Canby is, well, where are you, Nicholas?
The guru, Nick Canby.
We heard you chickened out, Nicholas. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Come on, Colin.
And I love him. I love him.
He's going to just appear out of nowhere and get you for that.
And Anthony Furman as well. There was a lot of talk between Clayton, Furman, and Canby, and they are arguably the greatest 3 in the under 105s, all coming together for a big clash. But it couldn't quite happen. Canby and Furman struggling with some injuries as we look at Parker. Closest to camera, Hine on the far side. And let's see how these two get on. Our penultimate pair in the 105s.
I am watching John Parker, one of my athletes that I coach. He has a strong back, but this yoke is quite heavy. Hine moving down with speed and precision. Not quite fast enough to touch Loy, but very smooth and very controlled. Parker struggling to stay up. Needing every bit of distance.
Well, Parker's running out of time here. He's getting frustrated, as you can see. One big pick. He's going for the line. Doesn't quite make it. I think we're going to run out of time here soon.
He's got 10 seconds left. It's now or never.
Right on the line.
He's
One
got
last effort to get it over. Well, he's certainly not going to trouble Loy, nor does he affect the man he was up against, Nicholas Hine, who did it in 13.21 seconds, a very respectable time for 408 kilograms, and we have 1 pair to come. Now, you said he's one of your athletes. Do you coach him?
I do. He is one of my athletes I coach. He is a strong deadlifter, and he showcased that yesterday, and of course he has made it to the OSG final. But I can only imagine he wanted a bit more of himself. He needs to keep his head held high. He finished it, and at 900 pounds, Colin, that is an incredible feat of strength. But my eyes turn to this next heat. Dan Hughes of the USA in lane number 1, and Andrew Clayton with a show-stopping performance on the sandbags in the qualifying round. Ready to make a statement here. I know he's going to move well. He is a marathon runner as well, the running strongman he calls himself. So we might see this car move as if it was powered by an engine, but an engine in the form of Mr. Clayton.
And what is it with marathon running? Mitchell Hooper as well, doing a bit of marathon running and coming in, being a very good strongman. Obviously, it's an enjoyment of pain, perhaps. But so, Clayton up against Hughes. Clayton is our champion from some 5 years ago. He stepped up to the heavyweights, got injured quite badly at a Giants Live in 2018, the year that Evan Singleton won. And that was an overhead axle press. He's had a couple of operations since then. But some would say he is the lineal champion, and Camby and Furman, their victories were hollow victories without Clayton. We'll find out just how good Clayton is, but he certainly seems to be back to full form. This will be a real test for those knees, though.
He's looking good so far. And if his performance in the qualifying rounds is any sign of what he's about to give, we are in for a show.
So Hughes in the car and waiting, looking over to Andrew Clayton, taking his time. He knows he's the big show in the 105s. Can he deliver here? 11.23 seconds, the time to beat by Loy. Aaron West gets us underway, and it is a tremendous start by Clayton, who's starting to accelerate through the gears at the halfway point. Stumbles, goes down, but finishes off still, I think, in the fastest time, and he knows it.
Even with that stumble, a fast time, and very clearly the knees are looking strong and able to take the load and the recovery of that small drop.
The 2017 champion looking as strong as ever. And my guess is, of all of the under 105s, after they put the weight back on post-weigh-in, he's probably more like 115 kilos now, and 9.81 seconds is our confirmation of the fastest time so far, the only man sub 10 seconds in this category. And remember, 408 kilos on the back for 15 meters is extraordinary as we look back at what we just saw.
Another event win for Clayton. Even with that drop, Colin, just recovering in the blink of an eye. Being a taller athlete, those long strides really play an advantage.
It's always good if it swings forward, as it were, or up with the bonnet, the front of the car. It just allows you to then bully a little bit with your arms. But if it starts to swing down, it's much harder to control it and stop it biting into the concrete. And there's confirmation. Andrew Clayton takes the win here in the men's under 105 in the car walk. Only man sub 10 seconds, Justin Loy, manages to go ahead of Provenzano's 12.31, one of the early posted scores. Nicholas Hine.
Athletes on 39.5 points, only half a point ahead of Gavin McNamee, and then we've got Tyler Davis on 38.5. How exciting is the Atlas Stones going to be with 5 athletes so close?
And here we are in our men's under 105 kg. Brandon Burley versus Jonathan Parker on the circus dumbbell. Brandon Burley moves through the ladder. Both of these American athletes. I know John Parker, this is one of his least favorite events, but he has made a lot of progress over the recent months. And just that reactive intimidation, wanting to have that second hand come in and help. And Parker just meeting his match.
Let's just point out this is heavier once again. So we are going 160, 180, 200 and 220 pounds. That's 72.5 kilos, 81.5 kilos, 91 kilos. And that final dumbbell, 100 kilos. Almost body weight for these guys.
Wow. We'll be moving on to our next round of athlete in heat number 2. Matthew McKeegan of Ireland in lane 1, and Sean Diver, also an Irishman,
Irish
in lane
battle.
number 2. All right, McKeegan and Diver. 160, 180, 200, and 220 on the ladder.
McKeegan's training on dumbbell has gone very well. He's feeling a little beat up, a few little injuries, but it's an event he needs to score some big points on and pull himself back into this competition. On to the third dumbbell, 200. He just mistimes that, gets away from him. Diver good on dumbbell number 2. McKeegan needs to be balanced. That's a better press right there. Moves on to the 100 kilos, 220 pounds. And Diver gets the 200-pound dumbbell. McKeegan gets away from him again. He's capable of this.
Diver has been conserving his energy very effectively by not rushing each one. Let's see if it pays off here with the 220.
Diver, nice high elbow position. Needs to be balanced. Remove the spare arm. Can either of these guys get this last one? No. So close there by Diver as well.
That's a big weight.
Unfortunately, both unable to lift the 220-pound dumbbell in this dumbbell ladder.
Heat 3 will be coming up next with Dan Hughes in lane 1 and Alex Sukup in lane 2. Every athlete that remains in these final 3 heats are all Americans.
So McKeegan goes into the lead with 3 dumbbells in 23.66 seconds.
Anyone to get that 4th dumbbell will be the event leader at this point.
Hughes versus Sukup. A nice lift there by Hughes. Sukup as well, no problem. Hughes just let that twist as he went to dip. The dumbbell just moved. That was better. Both athletes solid on the 180.
Hughes really getting some good leg drive there, but not quite getting the down command from his judge as Sukup advances to the 4th and final dumbbell.
And he can't quite get that 200-pound dumbbell to lock out. Sukup moves on to the 220. If he gets this, he'll go into the lead.
Both men tapping out. Heat number 4, Nicholas Hine in lane 1, Frank Provenzano in lane number 2.
Hine versus Provenzano. Oh, nice first rep.
Both men looking good. You need to not walk the line of recklessness and keep it under control.
Provenzano slightly behind, looking a little bit more powerful, but Hine is in the lead. It's about speed as well as power this event. Can he get it locked out? Oh, he just missed it. And so does Provenzano. Oh, both athletes just struggling on this 220 now. Energy being zapped.
It's all or nothing for Provenzano right here.
He's got to get this here. Oh!
Both men showing they're capable of locking out the dumbbell, but just cannot get established control. Hine, a final ditch effort, and he is gassed.
Great effort by both gentlemen there.
We might have a new leader just based off of split time.
I think the time's there, a little bit quicker for 3. Once we have those times, we will let you know.
But our final heat approaches the arena. Justin Loy in lane 1 and Andrew Clayton in lane number 2. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
New leader, Nicholas Hine, dumbbell ladder. 3 dumbbells in 16:78.
Fast. If he could have kept that pace, that would have been a
I'll tell you
lightning fast time on that 220.
I
But
think we're going to see 4 dumbbells go up here.
oh, Clayton for sure will get this. And I know Loy is capable of it as well. This is going to be a nail biter, really. Clayton making sure every dumbbell is to his liking.
We know how powerful Clayton is overhead. This is an athlete that was formerly chasing the American record in the axle. That's how he suffered his devastating injury. Since then, he's gone away, worked hard, recovered, dropped body weight, and now he is here in the under 105 class, aiming to become the world champion.
His knees look strong, so he's bounced back from the operations he's had and ready to showcase it here today.
Well, that car walk, his knees were no problem there at all. Loy making a mistake on that first dumbbell. Did not wait for the down signal. That's better. Clayton is flying through these first two. On to number 3, 200 pounds. Easy. So much time left.
Andrew Clayton lining up the shot.
Just needs to stabilize, get it balanced. There it is.
Andrew Clayton gets the down command from his judge. Our men's under 105, Andrew Clayton with an 11-point lead over Nicholas Hine. Andrew could go into this event and do absolutely nothing and still come out the champion. Nicholas Hine and Dan Hughes only half a point separate them. They will be fighting for the podium.
Absolutely amazing. So exciting to watch. And here we are. We're up again. We're upping the ante even more. Look at the weight of that final stone.
Men's under 105 class. 275, 300, 325, 350, 375, and 400 pounds. John Parker, Alex Sukup, USA on both sides of the screen. John Parker, one motioning that he is a strong Atlas stone loader. Proud coach here watching his athlete at work.
That's the second one motion.
Parker, well conditioned to over a 400-pound stone, but can he do it at the end of a tower? John Parker with a 350.
His stones are looking really strong.
On the way up with 375 for Parker. With ease. Parker onto
We
the
are on
400.
the last stone for both of these athletes.
Both Parker and Sukup fighting this massive 400-pound behemoth.
15 seconds. Come on, gentlemen.
Parker just cranking back a little too soon. 10 seconds. Sukup to the lap. And time will escape these
Just
men.
proving too much. 400 pounds.
Now Parker will take the event lead for now. Even being the first heat, he still has many performances to follow, but he did manage to get all 5 stones the quickest to the platform. Our next heat, Brandon Burley of USA versus Sean Diver of Ireland. Evan, even though they have those crash pads to absorb the shock of the stone, every time they hit the ground, I can feel it all the way over here.
Oh, same here. It's like Godzilla's walking around in this place.
Does the T-Rex feel threatened, thinking there's a bigger dinosaur amok?
No, T-Rex is biggest. T-Rex is best.
I expected no other type of answer from you.
Well, that's the thing with me is consistency.
John Parker, 5 stones in 34.85 seconds. Our current event leader. But with 4 heats to go, that time will be challenged, and I bet we see that 400-pound stone go up.
With the caliber of athletes that we have in this class, I'm sure that we're going to see that 400 go.
I think so too.
We are.
I think so too. And we cannot forget that big, bad Andrew Clayton sits at the top of the pack, as do the likes of Justin Loy, and Nicholas Hine, and many more gifted, strong athletes. Burley versus Diver.
Second one motion by Burley.
Burley pulls ahead, getting that 325 up to tower with ease. 350 is up for Burley. Ooh, a costly error for Diver. Burley moves to the 400-pound behemoth.
Will he be the first one to load it?
Diver having struggles there. 10 seconds for Burley. He needs to move, and it is just too heavy.
Too much.
Wow. We'll see where Burley's time stacks up with Parker's. Brandon Burley just a little bit slower than Parker with 5 stones in 36.66 seconds. Jonathan Parker remains our current event leader with the 5-stone run in 34.85 seconds, still falling short of that 400-pound massive stone at the end. Up next in Heat 3, we have Matthew McKeegan of Ireland, another Irishman in this final, and Justin Loy, the USA.
Our next round of athletes, we have Matthew McKeegan of Ireland in lane number 1, Justin Boyd of the United States in lane number 2.
The stage is set. McKeegan versus Loy. Can either man get that 400-pounder?
McKeegan Loy. First stone to weigh 275 pounds, here on stone number 2. And he's a 300-pounder.
2 stones. Super fast, technical, and efficient. On to 3, the exact same way, almost in sync.
Loy pulls ahead. On to the 375
McKeegan
for
right
both
behind
men.
him.
Loy gets it, showing a little bit of strain on the way up. He needs to summon every ounce of power he has. Even just loading this stone, no matter the time, will get him the event win as of right now. McKeegan meeting his match. Loy just a little bit out of his powerhouse, but he is happy with his performance. And I bet he's happy to be done.
That immediate relief after you hear that whistle blow after the last event.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we know it all too well. Heat number 4, USA for both lanes. Frank Provenzano on left of screen and Dan Hughes to the right.
Up next in number 1 of the United States is Frank Provenzano. In lane number 2 of the United States is Dan Hughes.
This is definitely sizing up to be a very interesting stone run indeed. Both these men, very, very hard workers, very determined, showing a lot of grit throughout this entire competition, and overall, it's going to carry over into the stones.
It is, and that 400-pound stone still looms over the heads of all of these athletes. Provenzano and Hughes, 2 of only 4 athletes remaining here in this under 105 kg final.
And we are off, both men sprinting to that first stone.
Hughes, quick on the first stone.
Making sure it's secure and in that hole. No mistakes here. These are big, big points. No mistakes.
Hughes gets the 350, moving on to the 375. With Provenzano right behind him.
375, edging onto that
Hughes gets it
platform.
up onto the 400.
Can
He needs
get
to
the
move.
fourth? Can he get that 400-pound stone? First one in the class.
The clock ticks. And time will escape. Wow. We still need to see if Parker's time stands. That was a good run from Hughes.
Fantastic run by both these athletes.
Parker with a time of 34.85 seconds to beat. Dan Hughes falling short of that mark with a time of 40.44 seconds. Jonathan Parker remains in the lead, setting the pace on heat number 1. However, here we have Nicholas Hine and Andrew Clayton, a true thunderstorm of an athlete to show his skill and strength here at OSG 2022. Clayton wearing his signature pink shirt. That is his look. I remember a time when he had longer, where he would weave bow ties into his beard.
Yes, he did.
You know?
Pink bow ties, I remember that.
Getting every stone to his liking. It is really good to see Clayton in prime form with both knees clearly in good structural health. I think we can expect a full run out of Clayton, but Hine, an absolute tank throughout the entire show. Now, Clayton is another athlete that does not need to do the stones. But Clayton is on a warpath to glory to prove himself as the best in the world. And the best in the world wants to soak up every chance at experience he gets. And the experience does not get better than the OSG arena.
Absolutely not. This is for all the marbles. This is for the glory, and this is for just really putting a final stamp that you are the best 105 in the entire world.
Clayton moving fast. He's got long levers. Really quick on his technique. Hine seemingly no match for this man's strength. Andrew Clayton to 375. And it's up onto the 400 for Andrew.
Will he be the first one to lift this last stone?
Andrew Clayton cranks back a little too soon. The pressure is on. Nick Hine. 15 seconds remain. I think 400 is just out of Andrew's power. But he knows he is the world's strongest man under 105. Andrew Clayton loading himself to that 6th platform. I wonder where Clayton's time matches up with Parker's. I think it was significantly faster, but we will need an official confirmation. Regardless, congratulations to Andrew Clayton on an amazing comeback. The world's strongest man under 105 kilograms. With a 5-stone run in 30.84 seconds, he has an event win and further secures his foothold as the best on the planet. And honestly, I'm not surprised. It is really great to see him doing so well. Look at that, a 61.5 point finish for Andrew Clayton in first place. Dan Hughes, only half a point ahead of Nicholas Hine. 45 points versus 44.5 points. But that podium of top 3 really separates themselves from the pack with a tremendous display of strength throughout the entire event this weekend here in Daytona, Florida.
All right, the strongest men in the world, under 105 kgs. In 10th place, the award goes to Sean Diver. In 9th place, standing beside his fellow Irishman, it's Matthew McKeegan. In 8th place from the USA, Alex Sukup. In 7th place from the US of A, Jonathan Parker. In 6th place from the United States, Justin Loy. In 5th place from the USA, Brandon Burley. In 4th place for the United States, Frank Provenzano. Into the podium we go. In 3rd place with 44.5 points, Nicholas Hine. In 2nd place, squeaking with 45 points, it's the USA's Dan Hughes. And this year's champion is the world's strongest 105 kilogram man, landslide victory. He is now this 2 times here, 3 times as a world champion. 3-time OSG, 2-time world champion, heavyweight pro, lightweight pro, marathon runner, Ironman. I think he wrestled a shark in one too. Either way, he is the strongest man in 105 kilograms in 2022. Andrew Clayton. Bonus points if he raps LL Cool J at tonight's after party. That is your 105 kilogram men. Masters 40 plus, come on down.